Today, this morning, filling in for my girl Roxy, who's in Arkansas at a big Walmart retreat or something, getting that big Walmart money. And I love what she said yesterday. Roxy said that was her first job. You never know how things can change in your life. She used to be a cart pusher and a register chick over at Walmart.
Walmart.
Yeah, now, well, I don't know which one, but Roxy said that was her first job. Now she's out doing conventions, speaking to Walmart crowds.
That's crazy.
What a huge accomplishment for Roxy. I hope she's enjoying her time off over in Arkansas. She sent me some pictures yesterday.
Oh, that's where Walmart
headquarters.
Headquarters.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's what I'm saying. She's doing big things.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's what bring me a Walmart freaking gift bag or something. I'm sure they're gonna give away some goodies out there. You like Walmart, Mia? Are you a Walmart shopper? Or are you too? I don't go to Walmart anymore.
I cannot go to Walmart. It's a little too. I shop at Target.
Oh, Target.
I'm a scale above.
All right. Well, I still go to Big Lots. I still go to Big Lots and Walmart. Look, I go where the deals are there.
Gotta go. Well, Target has deals.
Well, yeah. My kids love Target. I'm just an OG. I'm an OG. I got 2 daughters. All these Target. You want any kind of gift card? The Target gift card. Get them a Target gift card.
I grocery shop at Target.
I grocery shop at Walmart.
Walmart. Oh my God. They actually have some good stuff.
Yeah, they do.
They really do. They have an organic division.
Are you all like vegan or something like that, Mia?
No, I'm actually. I know I sound like I am. No, I'm not.
You're
In
not?
fact, I don't even like. I used to be really, really super healthy, like not eating preservatives and all that kind of
Right.
crap.
And then you just
and
what?
now I'm just like.
No, I'm not. I can't. I mean, well, let me tell you. I don't think you have to be vegan or or whatever it is you're eating. It's you look amazing.
Well,
Does it matter what you eat?
Yeah, it does. Like I just can't. I can't eat like a lot of sugar, and I can't eat a lot of carbs. I eat in moderation.
No wonder why I'm fat.
Yeah.
All I do is eat carbs and sugar.
Though they taste so good. Oh my God, believe me.
Let me describe
At my moments.
Mia St. John really quick. First of all, Mia, thank you for being here with me. I know you gotta wake up early. I know it's early at your co-hosting with me this morning. It's a freaking honor. It's also really dope because you're an important figure in the world of boxing. WBC Women's Champion. You think they're ever gonna put you in the Hall of Fame, Mia?
I already was.
You already were.
Yeah, I was in the Hall of Fame with who was the other guy? Who was this other guy? Some guy named Michael Spinks.
Michael Spinks.
Yeah, no, he's a great guy. I even had him host one of my last fundraisers. So.
The legend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
yeah.
Mia St. John, you've gone from woman world champion, WBC world champion, to a mental advocate.
Mental health.
Health advocate.
Although I am mental.
Where does that come from, Mia?
The mental health advocate.
Yeah, what made you say, you know what, this is something I need to get involved in?
I was always, because before I turned pro in boxing, my mom said, can we cuss on this show or not?
Fuck yeah, you can.
You remember like when I was with Big Boy.
Right.
That was one of the things that they could not
Well, that's
stand.
traditional radio.
It was really difficult because
things are changing around.
I couldn't help it.
Shout out to DJ Ski and Dash Radio, man. We're changing the world of radio.
That was me though. Like I grew up with a Mexican mother, so I couldn't help it. So yeah, it was always like I was cussing like a drunken sailor. But yeah, so the mental health. So before I turned pro, my mother said, "Okay, that's fine. I don't give a shit what you do as long as you get a degree in psychology," because we came from Mexico.
Right.
So not in psychology, but she said pick any degree, and so that's what I did. I picked psychology, and I was always interested in that. And then when my son developed schizophrenia, it really proved to be worth it. And so I went through the whole saga with my son, who eventually passed away.
A lot of people don't know this story of yours, Mia.
Yeah, a lot of this demographic doesn't know the story because I've been in the mental health field for so long, ever since I left boxing. But yeah, so
do you want to talk about that? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's great because that's all I do. I just left New York. I was on the Today Show and CNN and talking all about it because I want the world to know about mental health and addiction and a lot of these mental illnesses like schizophrenia, bipolar. My ex-husband, the father of Julian, passed away a couple months ago. And he was on Young and the Restless for like what,
legend,
years.
A legend. Well, I mean, if not the top dog of Young and the Restless.
Right.
I never watched Young and the Restless, but I know St. John.
Yeah.
Christophe St. John.
Yeah, I mean,
I know him. I know his face. I know his acting.
Yeah.
I don't know any of the Young and the Restless.
Yeah.
I knew him.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
He just.
Me, I didn't even know you were married to him.
You did?
No, I didn't know that's how you had your. I swear on everything I love. I didn't know. And see, if I don't know Mia, a lot of people don't know.
Yeah,
and I think your story is way bigger.
Oh yeah.
Than I mean, because I even had to go and do my own research and study. I was like, damn, I didn't even know this.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So look, first off, I want to get into that, if you don't mind, at some point on the show, maybe in the next hour. I'd first like to get things started and of course start off the show in 5 minutes. The Big 3 update with Joe Grande. Mia, I thank you again for being here. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna let you juice some, drink some coffee, and let's all rise and shine together. It's 9 minutes after the hour. Roxy, of course, is away on a little break, taking care of some business over at the Walmart headquarters. Mia St. John filling in today. Tomorrow we have Michelle Joy Phelps, who's a big part of Tattandthecrew. She's going to be hanging out with me tomorrow. And then Friday, of course, a very, 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 very special guest is going to be hanging out with us. Mia, I was saying how great you look. You got on this beautiful denim jean jacket. What is that? Is that a dress you're wearing, Mia?
No, it's a shirt.
Oh, nice. A very nice, colorful, like flower shirt thing. You got your hair done, and you got your makeup on.
This is all like.
It's great.
Let
me see that ring. Let me see that ring.
This is 4 in the morning.
Let me see that ring. Is that your wedding? Oh, wait a minute.
Well.
That's not your wedding.
Okay, so I was.
Are you married right now or not?
My boyfriend.
Your boyfriend.
6 years.
Right.
We just parted ways, but
really?
yeah, he bought me all my rings. Yeah.
You guys parted ways. Is this like the first time you said this?
Yes. Yeah.
Because I thought you were like happily in love. It looked like you were happily in love.
I'm still madly in love with him.
So what happened? Did he break up? Did you break up?
No. Well, so what happened was.
Why would anybody want to break up with you?
Because after my Christophe passed, I went into this deep, like, I don't know, like I was 30 years sober. I ended up breaking my sobriety and I wouldn't stop, and he ended up hospitalizing me.
Okay, breaking your
story.
No, I appreciate the honesty. And so he couldn't handle.
He couldn't handle. It was just a lot. It was a lot.
How's your sobriety now? Did you?
So now I'm sober. Now I did go. Finally, yeah, he put me in the hospital twice, and now I'm I don't want to say fine, but I'm working on it, and I have a new doctor.
Now, when you say you broke your sobriety, is that like drinking, drugs?
Yeah, I had 30 years of sobriety, and after Christophe died.
And what was like smoking weed, cocaine? What's your drug of choice? What is it that
Well, after Christophe passed, I picked up the nearest bottle, and I just didn't stop.
Yeah.
I just kept going right back at it. Yeah, it was really sad, but.
That's gotta be tough, yeah. That's gotta be tough. I'm serious, man. Losing your son, losing your husband. Man. I mean, and then being a mental health advocate and actually dealing with what I think is mental health.
Right.
Being sober for 30 years and then falling off after 30 years, that's mental health.
That's huge.
Right?
Yeah.
So
you're back.
You're actually a part of what you're preaching. You're living what you're preaching.
Well,
right
that's why I went on like this big tour, media tour, to bring awareness because that was part of the problem with my son and my ex-husband, was that there's such a stigma to my ex-husband. Well, Christoph had bipolar, my son had schizophrenia, but there's such a big, discrimination against that, and it was so hard for him to come out with that, and he was always afraid being in rehab because he didn't want his fans to find out, because he thought that his fans would look down on him. And
Christoph.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to.
When you say bipolar, what is bipolar? I mean, does that mean got like different personalities or something?
Good question. This is what I'm trying to get the public to start asking questions. If I say the word schizophrenia to you, do you know what that means?
I don't. I just think crazy right off.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Schizophrenic.
You just proved my point.
You're crazy. Schizophrenia. That's the way I've heard it.
You just proved my point. This is what all my talks are about, is that people don't know what this is, and it sounds crazy. So with a lot of people with schizophrenia, they have a disconnect with reality. They have delusions. Like, for example, my son would think that he would hear voices, and the voices were telling him, kill yourself, you're nothing but a piece of shit, and those people in that building right there, they're talking about you, and they want to kill your family. And so that's what you hear when you see a lot of these shooters who in the high schools, and we're calling these kids evil. They're not evil. They have psychosis. They're
right.
Hearing voices, and these voices are telling them to do evil things. So, and then with bipolar, they go into mania, which is similar to schizophrenia, where they're really like hyped up and aggressive, and they're hearing voices, and then you have the other side, which they're really depressed. You can't get out of bed.
I think I'm bipolar. I really
Do
think
you
I'm
really?
I really think
I
I'm
mean,
bipolar.
you could be.
I really think I am.
You could be.
I have these really super highs, especially when I'm like behind a radio board and a soundboard and music and radio is my high. This is where I feel the ultimate level of who I am.
Right.
And then once I get off air and once I go into this David Gonzalez world and I'm no longer tattooed, I crash. I always fall. I feel very depressed. I feel very low of myself. I have low self-esteem. I sometimes look at myself and I don't like what I see. But I tell myself, stop being a little crybaby bitch. Stop, man. And I'm here talking to myself, and then I get back up, and then I get sad again, and then my kids you fail to respond the way I want them to, and I get I don't know. And I've never been examined by a doctor. I've never gone to a doctor. Like we grew up in Mexican households too.
Right.
We don't go see doctors.
And that's the other thing.
We're used to your mom being that's loco.
Yes.
That's loco, cabrón. Yeah, you're fucking crazy. Shut up. That's the type of shit we hear. And
that's what I heard.
And the fear, I guess, of going to a doctor and then me thinking, like, what does this doctor know? What has he been through in life? Is he gonna tell me what I've been through? Like, so it's this pride. It's this fear. It's a lot of emotions for myself that I don't want to get examined and be told, hey, dude, you're bipolar. Something's wrong with your mental health.
Right, because because you think there's something wrong with it, and especially that's why I give so many talks, because it's our culture. The Latinos here in the United States need to know that this is something real, and just because our parents, because my mother was the same as you. If I was depressed, like, oh my God, can you imagine telling your Mexican mother, I'm depressed?
I can't imagine.
You get a slap over the head.
100%. Yeah, you're depressed, cabrón. Go give me the belt.
Right.
I'll wake you right up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not accepted, and that's what I want to change.
Well, I love what you're doing, Mia, and we're going to talk about that change right after we get into this Big 3 update with the Joe Grande. This is Tattandthecrew. Do you look back at yourself and say, hey, you know what? Like, let me reflect on my life. I'm Mia St.John. You were a women's world champion. You were boxing on pay-per-view cards with Oscar De La Hoya. You had this fame and stardom and I feel that you still do. You still have an amazing following. Fight fans love you. And I know this is like a part of your life that you don't like to talk about. I said put Playboy Playmate, and you're like, ugh, no, I don't like that. You know, are you not proud of some of these accomplishments you had and made for yourself?
I am, and believe me, I'm still involved in boxing. I'll still do events. I try not to do like a lot of appearances in boxing, but I still do it. Because I'm more of a mental health advocate. Like, I have a book coming out, and all the shows that I do are strictly geared towards talking about mental health. And so all the talks that I'm giving now are mental health. And I want to stay like in that arena where I'm able to change policy, you know, and talk about the new bills that are coming out and what needs to be changed. And I feel that it's more significant for me right now. Like, I'm not really interested in like talking boxing anymore.
But that's part of your life. That's
and I
a big part.
And I do still get excited over certain fights. You know? I still talk about it, like the recent fight.
You still watch boxing?
Yeah, like the recent fight with
Ruiz and Joshua.
Yeah, like I still.
Great.
Yeah, and yeah.
How many people doubted this guy? I was one of them. I doubted Ruiz. I didn't think he could do it.
And I had a lot to say about, you know, Jarrell, who was supposed to fight Joshua.
Yeah.
I was at the press conference. I flew to New York just to go to the press conference.
Nice.
So I'm still in it.
Mia, I think I'm your friend. I consider myself a friend. Every time I call you, you answer. You're here with me. You never said no, except for the autographed Playboy. I never have gotten my autographed Playboy. That was years ago. I don't know if you remember that, but many years ago.
Right.
Many years ago. I wanted that. No, you did not. No,
I
you did not. But
I know I did.
I feel I'm a friend of yours, and I want to say this to you, and I hope you don't take this the wrong way. And you of course you've gone through so much shit recently with your son and Christoph St. John. I don't expect you to be this happy, glow freaking person right now. But Mia, you don't seem as happy as the Mia I know. You don't look as happy. You don't feel. I'm not feeling the happiness coming from you. I mean, but I also understand that there's been some dark shit that's gone on. You know.
Well, yeah. We have just. I understand Christoph just died.
Yeah.
So.
No, I totally get it. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying.
I literally just got out of the hospital. Like, we were talking a couple weeks ago. So.
You did, Mia.
Yeah.
And when it's just alcohol, Mia, or is it drugs?
Yeah,
drugs.
You know, pills and depression, and I just went and saw Mark.
Don't you think?
I just saw Mark in New York like
Garagos.
last week.
Mark Garagos, your attorney.
Yeah, he's not just my attorney. He's the one who sued the hospital for millions for my son, rightly so. But he's my really good friend. He's a family friend. He's the one. Mark's the one who put Christoph in the hospital. Like, he's our family friend. He is our confidant. Like,
Mark's a great guy.
Yeah, like
he's a
he
great
knows
guy.
Everything that I've gone through, and we talk daily. You know, I mean, so he can tell you like everything that I've been going through.
I can see it. I can feel it. You know.
Yeah.
But I hope that what you're doing by spreading the word of mental health, that it also helps you get past this situation.
Oh my God, it does. It really does. I love what I do.
Well, you look great.
Thank you. So do you.
You know.
How are you doing? You still married?
I'm all right. I'm happy. As far as my career
still
goes.
The same woman?
No, I'm not single. Yeah, she left me. Well, I don't know. I think I left her. She cheated on me, and I left her.
No.
Yeah, shit happens, Mia. I don't think I was the best husband anyway. You know, always out messing around, getting into trouble. You know, but hey, that was 6 years ago now.
Wow.
I'm in a happier place, I guess.
Did you have a few kids with her?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think I'm wrong. No, I'm lying right now, Mia. I can't lie to a mental health advocate. I'm serious. I cannot lie to you right now.
What
I'm
did you
not
do?
in a better place.
No.
I'm not. I thought I was at some point, and but I realized 6 years after the separation of me and my kid's mother, I was much happier when I was in my relationship with her, and I had a family and my kids. I mean, who doesn't want a family and kids and graduations and this and that and growing together? Yeah, it really fucked me up. It was a very depressed time.
So you can't work things out?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Not. I mean, can you work? Let me ask you, Mia. Have you ever cheated on someone or someone cheated on you and then you work it out?
Yes.
You have, and you believe that you can work things out after cheating.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
For sure. My ex-boyfriend, the one that we just broke up.
You know we're live on air. We can still be. Mia just pulled her mic to the side.
Wait, are you joking?
What do you mean? Am I joking?
We are live.
Yes, we're live.
Still?
Yes.
I thought we were on a break.
No, Mia, we're live on air right now. Here's what I'm gonna do, Mia. I'm gonna get into a song.
You need to tell me when we're...
Mia, what do you mean? There's all these buttons. I have my headphones on. I got these things potted up. Mics are in front of your face. What are you talking about?
Because I thought you wouldn't have asked me that unless we were like...
Ask you what?
About cheating.
About cheating? No, I mean...
Wait, did I say I cheated?
No, you didn't.
I didn't.
No, I asked if you've ever been cheated on, and if you can work a relationship out after cheating. You didn't say you cheated or you've been cheated on. You just said yes. I feel that you can work a relationship out after cheating.
Yes, you can.
You can.
Yeah, because I've had boyfriends cheat on me, and as painful as it is, we have worked it out and gone on.
Wow. You seem like a very strong person, Mia.
Well, and I've cheated, and men have forgiven me.
Hey, well, I would.
I think that if you love the person, wait a minute, are you saying that you couldn't go on?
I couldn't go on, no.
Why?
I couldn't. I think it's, I don't know. It's just so fucking prideful of me.
Did you
and
never cheat?
I never cheated.
Never?
I never cheated. Okay, getting lap dances, getting some moves in your face, having a few Instagram hosts DMing you and sending messages back. Is that cheating? That's not cheating to me. Come on.
Officially.
Officially. It kind of is though, right? It kind of is. I love you, Mia. Mia, I was going to ask you to do some news for Roxy, because Roxy does her big news at 30 minutes after the hour, and we are at 29 minutes after the hour. Do you want to do news, or do you want me to handle this right here? And then you kind of like feed off with me?
Okay, yeah.
Or do you want to hit this news? Do you think you handle doing this news, or what?
You could do the news and I'll feed off.
You'll feed off. I love it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get into one record, and I'm coming back with Roxy's big news. This is Tattandthecrew. In the big news with Roxy, it's me, Tattoo, along with my co-host, Mia St. John. Let me get into some news.
You just spilled my life story and all my
Mia,
dirty details.
let me tell you, this is breaking news right here. Mia St. John did not know we were live. This whole time we've been on air, and I've been on air for 30 minutes, 34 minutes we've been on air. And
so lucky I never said anything.
Well, Mia,
I might have said something. I gotta rewind and go back all the way.
If anything, you said some really powerful things.
Okay, good.
Okay, with a Mia St. John touch to it, and honestly, like you're getting me out of my shell, and you're helping me open up a little bit. And I think this radio show is so raw and so real. It's so untraditional crap you hear on traditional FM radio that they can't do on FM radio. They gotta play a song, they gotta play a commercial, they gotta talk for 10 seconds, and they gotta, it's just crap. It's so robotic.
Yes.
That right here you're getting this actual real love feel, and it's real, Mia. This is your life. So you should be very proud, and you should not take back or think back about anything you said, because if you were saying anything, you're my friend, I would have stopped you and said, Mia, hold on, let's, you know what I'm saying? Because I care about you and you're my friend, then I wouldn't let you say something ignorant or stupid. Okay, now let's get into some news. See, you guys let me know how good I do with news, and then that way you guys understand why Roxy is in the position that she's in, doing her big news. But Oakland City Council has voted to decriminalize psychedelics that come from plants and fungi, including magic mushrooms. The San Francisco Chronicle reports that law enforcement in the California town won't prosecute people for possessing the substance. Have you ever had magic mushrooms, Mia?
No, but I did have psychedelics when I was a kid.
Like what, like acid or
yeah,
acid?
yeah.
Did you like trip out and see and hallucinate and see shit?
I ended up in the hospital.
You did?
Yeah, it was so bad.
I used to take a lot of acid when I was young. I used to party hard, and I actually experimented with magic mushrooms. I think they're great. I like them. I like them. They definitely open the mind and expand, and I get happy, and I feel like laughing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it can do a lot of damage, but I don't think we should be criminalizing any drug for that matter.
Well, crack cocaine and heroin, yeah, get that shit out. And crank and speed and that stuff. Glass, no. No, what are you talking about?
Because I think that, decriminalizing it, which means I don't think that we should be putting addicts in jail, is what I mean.
Well, I think
anyway, we should get them help.
Get them help, and if they don't get the help after 3 times, okay, dude, you gotta go. I'm sorry. Here's my thing.
Users?
No, my dad's a heroin addict. He's been a heroin addict. I'm 39 years old. My dad's been a heroin addict for my entire life.
So he needs serious help.
Well, he no longer a heroin addict. He's on methadone and all kinds of other pills that they give him because he's shot so much in himself that he has no veins. I've seen my dad shooting up in his nostrils, in his toes, in his ankles, in his fingers, he'll shoot up in his mouth. My dad has opened up his he sticks a syringe like this inside his, and he's got no needles no veins that he's had to poke his thigh. He just injects in his thigh, and he's sick.
So that's
he's sick. He had to stop. He had to stop where he died.
But do you think that they should be putting someone like that in jail, and clearly that person is very ill and needs help?
I don't know. My dad seems like he likes prison, you know? Anyways, I don't think heroin, at the end of the day, yeah, I get it, get help, but at some point too, I'd be like, yo, dude, you got, I love what you're saying, but I also argue it slightly, like after 3, 4, 5 times, yo, dude, you're not learning, obviously. Maybe jail's gonna teach you. Because I know guys that have gone to jail and come out clean and sober and never go back to that shit again. Ever. And so jail does teach you a lesson. I'm one of them. I'm a drug-free guy. I don't do drugs. I've definitely done them. I've done cocaine.
You don't do anything.
I don't do anything. I'm a drug-free man right now.
You don't drink.
I drink. Here and there. I have a couple beers, but I'm not pounding fucking bottles of booze.
Don't you think drinking is more dangerous?
Fuck yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, I do.
I'd rather get on the road and with the other driver being on weed rather than.
Oh, come on! I don't even call weed a drug. I'd rather take magic mushrooms that are now legal in Oakland, California, than drink alcohol. But here's the thing: the proponents argue that magic mushrooms are good to treat depression, and it can help end-of-life cancer patients deal with anxiety. So if anybody wants to get, if anybody wants to see the little Lucky Charm man, anybody wants to hallucinate and see some lions in the sky, go on over to Oakland. No wonder why the Oakland Raiders suck balls. They're over there freaking experimenting on magic mushrooms. They probably don't even see the team against them. They're getting high on magic mushrooms. Nano don't like that I said that. He's an Oakland Raider fan, man. Chili Willie, my celeb OG homie, he has season tickets to the Raiders. Sorry, Raider fans, y'all suck! Alright. They do. I'm a Denver Bronco fan all day. Let's go Denver. Alright, are you a big Apple iTunes fan?
Yeah.
Well, say goodbye to iTunes.
I know. I read that.
You know I love because Apple is getting ready to make some major changes to its music app. So on Monday, Apple unveiled its new operating system that is set to be released this fall. Apple's iOS 13. What is that? What's an iOS 13? Is that iPhone 13 or something like that coming out. I thought there was a what number are we on the
Say hi to
iPhone?
Mark.
iPhone 10?
Tattoo.
Yeah, Mia, what's going on?
Say hi to Mark.
Hi, hello everybody.
No, I'm sending it to Mark.
Oh, come on, do a good one for
I said
Mark.
say hi to
Send a picture to
Mark.
Mark Garagos. That's my attorney too.
He just
What's up?
texted. He just texted.
We're gonna get that big money, Mark. Let's go. Hey, there we go. Wow.
Okay.
Let me let you guys know that while iTunes has been part of Apple from the beginning, they are getting ready to remove it from most operating systems. Its replacement, 3 separate media streaming apps. Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, and Apple TV, according to MSN. Well, here's what I have to say about that. We got Dash Radio. It is the future of the way you should listen to music. Over 90 stations here. Big 3 being one of them. Shout out to Ice Cube, shout out to DJ Ski, genius. Visionary. He knows what he's doing. If y'all ain't ready for if y'all are tripping too hard over this Apple iTunes music thing, download the Dash Radio app. It's free, it's easy, and I promise you'll never want to listen to music any other way again. Mia, you better download that freaking app before you leave
I'm
today.
going to.
Alright, then our last story of the hour. This is a good one right here. Madonna. Are you a fan of Madonna, Mia?
I
Have you
am.
ever met Madonna?
Never.
Never. Wow. Madonna just lost her chance to shut down the sale of an old jailhouse letter from Tupac. And now it looks like she's going to have to watch as tons of her personal items hit the auction. According to TMZ, Madonna just lost her appeal to slam the brakes on the sale of a letter. A New York State appeals court ruled Madonna can't pursue claims against Darlene Lutz, her old friend and art consultant, or GottaHaveRockandRoll.com, the online auction house in which Lutz co-signed and signed the item for sale. Tuesday's court ruling opens the door for the sale of some of Madonna's intimate personal items. How the fuck do they get these items? Is my thing. How do they get Madonna's items that are personal to her? Did someone steal them? Did she let them go? Did she give them to somebody? Well, in these items, the breakup note from her ex-boyfriend, Tupac Shakur. In his handwritten letter, Tupac confesses he ended his sexual relationship with Madonna because she's white. Next month, the letter finally is going up for auction. Yeah, who knew that?
I didn't know that.
You know what I mean? She had that. She got that gangster love. Madonna and Tupac. Well, it's official because I read the letter and Tupac goes hard on it, and he's telling her how sorry he is, and it definitely 100% says in there. If that's really Tupac's writing and his letter, which is obviously his, because it's official here. TMZ's official. He's telling her that he doesn't. At some point, he even says in there that he would love to have a relationship with her again, and he doesn't care what people think of him. But he did leave her because of her ethnicity.
Wow.
She was white, and what people viewed of him. He's this powerful black man.
Wow.
You know what I mean? His mother was a Black Panther.
Yeah, and Tupac was very well educated, you know, so he knew a lot about that era and the Black Power, the whole Black Power and Black Panther thing. So I think that would make sense to me.
And with that being said, I'm Tattoo. That was your big news filling in for Roxy. This is Tattoo and the Crew, hanging with my guest co-host, my friend Mia St. John. Mia, I've always had a crush on you for many years. I was, oh my God, I was so head over heels for you.
Do you remember what year that was?
Oh, it was 2002, 2003.
Was it?
Yeah, so right around that era.
Okay.
Well, I started radio in 2001, so it had to be right about there, 2001. 2002.
Okay, yeah.
I started in 2000.
Okay.
I didn't know you until 2000.
Okay.
But I was actually gonna tattoo you on my. Now I got Kim Kardashian. What a freaking idiot.
I am
right?
so insulted. What happened to my tattoo?
It was that was the Playboy magazine thing.
Yes.
You never sent it. You never sent it. And
I
felt this real like
you know
I had
what?
this little bitter thing about me, and a
You
little
know
bad taste
what?
in my
I
mouth.
think that when I sent it, or I left it at Power, someone took it.
It was probably Big Boy.
Probably, like someone took it. I swear to
But
God.
you know what, Mia? Honestly, going back to that issue, and not that
Because
you
I
care,
remember signing it and leaving it at Power.
I still would get a Mia St. John picture with your boxing because I just love boxing and I love your.
It's history.
Of course, I'm getting it. That's it. That's it. It's done. The next time I see you, Mia, I'm gonna have you on my body.
Okay.
I'm serious about that.
Okay, you guys heard it.
And speaking of body, Mia, you look great. I cannot tell you. Let me tell you really quick. You look great. You dress amazing. You got all this beautiful jewelry on, Mia. Are you embracing this or you know? I mean, you're still a beautiful woman. You still got your personality. You still got money. You still got your position in boxing, who you are, and do you not want a new life and to feel like, you know what, I can start over. I can be happy. I can get out of this kind of funk that I'm in right now.
Yeah, I feel like I've completely, like I'm in that position where I'm transforming. Like, even though I love like that whole boxing persona and the Playboy thing, I'm really proud of all that, but you know, I've transformed and like I'm no longer that person. It's a part of me.
Like, what makes you happy? What makes Mia St. John happy?
Oh, I love what I do now, like speaking on behalf of mental health, because I feel like it's so significant, and that purpose, to have a purpose of such great importance, makes me happy. To work with, I started a foundation for kids like my son, young adults who are suffering from whether it be addiction, homelessness, or mental illness, and I spend so much time with these kids, and I just adore them.
So wouldn't that make you feel amazing if they're, you know, a kid or even an adult, even like myself, I'm 39 years old, I just kind of broke my shell.
You're 39?
I'm 39, yeah. Why, do I look older?
So
Jeez.
young.
Really, I'm young. Wow. I freaking feel like an old fart.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I feel like I got too many years. Oh my God. Like, even saying, oh, I've known you since 2001. That's a long freaking time ago. That's a lot of years.
What were you, 10?
I was 21 when I started radio.
Oh my God.
But trip out on this.
Okay.
You know, you get someone out of their shell, and I felt this comfort, even though we were live in front of thousands of people, and I'm here telling you, hey, you know, I think I may have a bipolar disease in my, you know, and helping someone, would that help make you happy, helping someone battle their
I love that. Like, that's the majority of my tweets and emails and, you know, messages that I get is about, you know, is people that think they have something and they're ashamed or whatever. That's why I love speaking out about it.
We are all the way live from Dash headquarters here in Hollywood, California. It's gonna be a beautiful day. I know it looks a little gloomy out there, but it's supposed to rise and shine really soon. We will be seeing some sunshine later on in the day. Sunshine makes me happy, but I'm a gloomy kind of guy, so I don't. I'd rather have it gloomy than sunny. What about you, Mia?
Well, I'm a gloomy kind of gal, so I'd rather have it sunny.
I'm not.
It makes me feel better.
It does. Well, that's good. Anything that makes you feel better, Mia.
Yes.
Because I'm probably gonna. I don't know how you're gonna feel about this, but I asked you off air if it was okay to talk about this, and I think it's important.
Yeah.
I think it is, honestly. I think, this should be the highlight of the day because it's such a big a topic, and it's so trendy right now. Mental health, it's very serious right now.
Yeah.
It's like you hear it more and more than you've ever heard before.
Yeah.
People are actually doing shows on it now. There's books on it now. There's certain foods that you eat that help you with your mental health.
Yeah.
There's so many solutions, so-called solutions.
I mean, we have Oprah Winfrey and Prince Harry doing a show on mental health.
Now,
So
what's that
just-
show about? What do you
it's-
mean? Is it
It's just going to
Like a
be,
documentary
it's a
thing?
show, no, it's a series, it's a show on her network that is just talking mental health.
Yo, shout out to Mark Garagos
And
today. What up, Mark?
Yes, our dear friend Mark. The best attorney, the GOAT.
Now, yeah, he is the GOAT.
He is.
I'm waiting for the GOAT to slam dunk my case. We're gonna talk about that, but yeah, we're about to slam. We're about to knock out somebody.
The knockout.
You know, I don't have to get in the ring to knock someone out. My attorney's gonna do that.
Exactly.
Mark Garagos, you're the best. Mark Garagos is your attorney, and he helped represent you in the case of your son.
Yeah. Well, he did. Yeah, that was his case, and
Is it tough for you to talk about this, Mia, when you think of your son and how close you guys were and the way he passed? How did he pass, Mia?
My son took his life in a mental health facility, and I put him in the facility to get off meth, and he also had schizophrenia. And it turns out, what we found out after doing all the discovery through surveillance, we found out that they were not giving him his vital meds, and that he was on suicide watch and they were not watching him. And we were watching surveillance and just counting the minutes. They left my son in a room with another patient that had a terrible record and was very aggressive, a very large man. Left him in that room alone for over an hour, missed all the checks on him, and the roommate walks out of the room. My son never does. And they found him face down on the bathroom floor with bruises all over his face. And so we never really found out what exactly happened to him. But we just know that the hospital was negligent. And that wasn't the first death. Let me just tell you that right before my son entered, there was a death very similar to my son's. And again, they were found negligent. And not only negligent, but they falsified my son's records, hoping that we would not be able to find out.
Do you have like some kind of like feeling of guilt that you to put him in a mental facility to help him get off something, and then he dies in there? Is that something that
there was, of course, there's so much guilt, but I could not win, because there were so many times I put my son in rehab. And for any of you people out there who have kids who are addicted, you know how they beg and beg and beg, I'll never do it again. I fell for it every time. I would get my son out. But see, so many times, like my son almost died on the streets. And that guilt, like, oh my God, my son almost died, and I've got to get him sober. And so people said, like, you're not going to get him sober unless you put him in rehab.
And Mia, that's something that people don't know. I didn't know. Everyone thinks that, while Mia St. John, she's this famous celebrity boxer, and probably life is really perfect. She's this gorgeous girl, and then, she has kids. Like, nobody knows what you're really dealing with at home. And this was the situation that you were dealing with at home. Was your son like flipping out on you, like where you were noticing, like, dude, like I gotta obviously, like, I gotta put you in a place where
there was so many things that were happening that I didn't quite know.
How old was your son, Mia, when he passed?
24.
24.
Yeah.
How long did he seem to be having these schizophrenic situations in his life?
At 17, and he was in and out of our Twin Towers, our jail here.
Yeah. And before that, was he like pretty normal and a pretty normal kid doing normal kid shit?
Yeah, he had a black belt in Taekwondo. He was great at basketball. He was a filmmaker. He was an artist. He was such a great artist. He had his art.
Were you guys close, Mia? Were you and your son close? Did he ever have any resentment that you were Mia St. John, a fighter, a celebrity? You probably weren't there. You spent a lot of time.
No, but what he didn't like was that I was a fighter, because my son was, like I said, he was an artist, and he was a very peaceful. He was very eccentric, but he was very peaceful, and did not like the sport of boxing, and did not like the fact that I hurt people for a paycheck. He felt that if he would say, "Mom, you're beating the shit out of another person, and you're not curing cancer, you're not solving world hunger, you're doing it for your ego and for a paycheck. Is that right that you're willing to kill another human being for that?" And he would talk all this sense into me, oh my God, he's right. We're not out there doing anything spectacular.
Yeah, but at some point, did you ever fight just because I gotta put food on the table? This is my career, or you fought because?
I fought because it was my passion. I loved it more than anything.
Never for the money. Never for money.
Never for the money, but thank God I was making good money. But no, I fought because I loved it. And that alone.
How long ago did your son pass?
4 years ago.
4 years ago. Damn, that's current.
It is, and then
I love my kids. So I have a 17, a 12, and an 11-year-old. I don't even know where my mind would be if something like this would ever happen to my kids, or just even losing them in any way.
Right. I can't even I'm good at, when I do interviews, I put it in a box and I don't feel it because I can't. Because once I start,
don't you think you're hurting yourself more than helping yourself by doing that? That's going to lead you to, like you said,
trust
your
me,
sobriety.
once I go home and I'm with myself, everything comes out.
And what do you mean by that? Then you go home and you're by yourself now. Now you're able to to
let go, and I cry and I deal with, and I think about my son.
And it's possible that you could be hurting yourself with you said your sobriety, you drinking and pills and shit like that.
Well,
you know what I mean? Don't you think that it could go too far? And the way your son passed and Christoph.
Sure, but I don't. But now what I do is I go home and I cry about it and I deal with it, and I'll write about it or I'll talk to my therapist about it, but I deal with it.
Right.
I just don't do it on the street and on a radio show, but I do, deal with it.
Like, we ain't gonna lose you, right, Mia? You got control, right, Mia? You're okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay here for the cause and for my daughter and for the kids that I help now.
So you have a daughter.
I have a surviving daughter, yeah. So it's just me and.
Well, how's she dealing with all this?
Well, she was devastated. She was going to Berkeley School of
Music. So very beautiful, talented young lady as well.
Yeah, she's a musician, and when she came back for break, her brother passed, and she was never able to go back. And we were just starting to get her better, and then her dad passed February 3rd, and she went right back to being a recluse and just, she's just hasn't recovered yet.
Fast forwarding to what you just said right now, her father, Christoph St. John. I had no idea that you were married to him, and I don't think a lot of people did either, Mia. It just seemed like after he passed, when I seen it on the news that Christoph St. John passed away, I was like, oh shit, I know this guy. Like, dude, that's a freaking Young and the Restless guy, damn. Then I seen your post on Instagram, and I know that you deal with you're a mental health advocate, and I thought at first you were posting because it had something to do with mental health. That's how we were reporting it on the news. And then I seen your post, and I'm like, okay, she's posting on Christoph. And then when I read into it, I'm like, oh shit, St. John, fucking idiot tap. St. John, wait a minute, husband. Like, oh, that was her fucking husband. Yeah. So fast forwarding, this is just in February. That Christoph St. John, how did Christoph pass away?
So, he...
Because it doesn't seem to be out there. You don't really hear how he passed away.
Because it's a little confusing. So, he had been on the decline since our son passed. And then it just got really bad as the months went on, and pretty soon, like, that's just all he would cry about is our son. And because he felt so guilty. And he just started, Christoph's an alcoholic, and he was drinking every day. I mean, it was so bad that he couldn't get to work. There were days when I would pick him up, take him to CVS. And I remember one day, like, probably a couple weeks before he passed, he was doing an interview on The Talk on CBS, and I had to pick him up, take him to The Talk, and we were so scared because he was so inebriated. I was like, I don't know how he's gonna get on stage and do that show. So we were backstage, he just had his makeup done, and we got him through that, and I got him through rehearsal, and I said, just don't talk, just don't say anything, just answer one-word questions, or one-word answers.
And he went on and did the show?
No.
He didn't?
We stood there backstage, and, when the green light goes on, we were just waiting, and all of a sudden he collapses on me. And that's that. He's done. He's out. So anyway, couldn't do the show. I had to take him home.
And if you don't mind, I mean, I'm going to say he was drunk. Was he drunk?
Oh, he was completely, I don't know if drunk's the word. He was just
hammered.
He was hammered.
Shit-faced.
Yes. But this was every day, all day long. He would keep a bottle of vodka by his bedside.
I mean, but every day after your son passed.
Every single day. I mean, it just got worse and worse. And so finally, before he passed, he died with a blood alcohol level of 0.35. But that was the level he was at every day of his life. And so the coroners, the report came back, the cause of death came back, heart failure or whatever. He had a heart disease. And it said, could have been triggered by alcohol. But I'm like, yeah, no shit. You can't have a blood alcohol level of 0.34, 0.35 every day of your fucking life and expect to live. So I was kind of mad at the coroner's office, like, what do you mean you're putting heart disease down? Like, no, he had a heart condition that you could live with. It wasn't like you're gonna die of it. So to even put that in the report was just ridiculous.
And don't you think that's like the number one sign of mental health is that there is no sign? Did you hear what I just said right now? The number one sign, hear me out on this, the number one sign of mental health is that there is no sign. Christoph St. John, you will see on The Young and the Restless and assume like this dude, the good looking guy, he's a famous actor, he's one of the most legendary dudes on Young and the Restless. Like even you saying this to me right now, I just don't see Christoph being this crazy booze drinker.
Right, because he had this...
Well, mental health, how you can cover things up probably. You're living this shit daily. It's his daily life.
Right. I mean, he had this image. He was on a family network. He was on a family show. He played a family man, and that's why he was so afraid every time he went into rehab. I gotta get out. My show depends on it. And we would often tell him, fuck the show. Like, this is your life. But there was, like we talked about earlier, there's such a stigma with, being an addict or, having bipolar like he had. And so he felt like that the world would be as forgiving if they knew.
Now, that's crazy. That's a hell of a story, and I know this is just like a bar of it. Now, fast forwarding to you and your book. You're writing a book, or did you already finish the book, or is it coming?
So they got the writer already, and we already started the interviews, and so we're already Yeah, and so we're hoping that it'll come out like after summer.
Damn, yeah, and with your son, with Christoph, it's really hard right now to even say anything except damn, because I can't understand that. I've never gone through anything like that, and there's a lot of people out there that can't understand it as well, but there also are people that can. And,
right.
And I don't want to sit here and be like, well, I applaud you, Mia. You're an amazing person for me. I mean, if anything, Mia, I want to say I'm a little worried about you. More than I applaud you, and it's an amazing thing of what you're doing, and I really do, and I really do feel that way. That it's an awesome thing for you to carry on for your son and for Christoph. But also too, it's just that it's so current. It's so current.
It's so current, and
that I'm a little worried about you.
And I did, and rightly so. I ended up right after I got the call that, because I don't know if you know, like the situation that day, but it was Super Bowl Sunday, and
he passed on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, and I got the call, and he was a huge football fan. He was just waiting.
And when you get the call, like where were you?
So it was at 11 a.m. and every year, ever since I've been doing Big Boy, I had a signing for the troops every Super Bowl Sunday, and something I always did. So I was doing the signing, and I get a call from Christoph, and he's crying and he's completely hammered, and he's taken a bunch of pills and I'm drinking a whole bunch, and he's crying. He says, I just want to die, I just want to be with my son, I just want to be with Julian. And I said, no, Christoph, you cannot do this. And I just kept talking to him, and nothing was helping. And so I finally said, look, do you want me to leave the signing? I'll come over. And I'm 2 hours away, remember, because I'm out in Newport. And he says, no, it's okay. Julian's knocking at the door. And he said, wait a second, Julian is our son that passed.
Oh, man.
And
that's deep.
And I said, I'm going to be on my way. And he said, no, it's okay. He's just going to take me to the store. We'll be okay. He's just going to take me somewhere and we'll be fine. And I just started panicking. I just started screaming, no. And so I got off the phone and I immediately called his best friend who lived close by. And I said, you got to go get Christoph. You got to check on him now. Something's wrong. And he said, well, I don't have a key to get in. And I said, break open the fucking door. You got to get in there now. And he went over there and couldn't find a key. And I said, call his second ex-wife. She lives close and she has a key. So he finally got her to come over, got a key. By the time they got in there, though, he was already face down on the floor. He was gone.
Damn, that's so crazy.
And
That's so like on there, like it was all
so
happening.
close.
Yes.
So
that and you don't hear stories like this. Usually it's like, well, he went away and then he, no one heard from him for a day, 2 days. They find him 3 days later, 2 days later. Never where it was like, come on, get over there, boy, and then bam, he's down.
Right. And then the minute we got the call, the minute I got the call, all I remember, I don't even remember that day. I just remember the call came in because I was waiting, to hear, what they found when they walked in. And once they told me, I just collapsed, and all of a sudden, I'm 5150 in a psych hospital myself.
And how long?
There on, it's a blur. And I remember I got out.
And that's not like that's without you. They automatically put you in there without.
Well, no. All I know is I grabbed a bottle after 30 years of sobriety and just was downing it one after another until I don't even remember. I must have been so inebriated that, and I guess they said that I was talking suicide, and so.
It's a traumatic thing to go through, man. And whatever it was that you did, whoever was there for you, thank God, because you're here now. But I want to ask
you. And I'm telling you, when I say we have the best attorney, it was Mark that got Christoph into the hospital before he died. it's those assholes that end up letting him go. Las Encinas, I can say that. Las Encinas and Pasadena let him go. But anyway, Mark got him, and Mark helped me with this hospital too. It's like, oh my gosh, if you ever need an attorney,
Call Mark Garagos.
Yeah.
If you can afford them.
Yeah.
That too. But let me tell you this, Mia. Let me tell you this. This is a raw question I'm going to ask you. After 30 years of sobriety, and then you open up the bottle again, and pills or whatever it is, right, bottle. And then you're also working as a mental health advocate, and you said you were just on the Today Show.
CNN.
Okay, CNN, doing all these things. Are you fighting and battling with yourself right now, where you also feel like you lost your husband, you lost your son, like you also want to go to that place with them, but you also got to stay here with your daughter, and you got things to do also. Are you in limbo right now with your own life, with your own self, with your own mental health, yourself?
Well, yeah, every day's a battle. Every day's a battle when I wake up. I have to choose to drink or choose not to drink. And every day since then, I can tell you, I have chosen not to drink and to push forward. And that's what I'm doing, and that's all I can do every day. And that's what I tell people all the time, that, life is a series of ups and downs. And as long as we can get through those dark times and come out on the end, like, you're always going to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Eventually, you will. If you just keep climbing, you're gonna see it. And that's what I started to see. Like, the longer I stay sober, the lighter the light becomes brighter and brighter. And you just have to hang in there and stick with it.
And you're gonna hang in there, Mia, right?
Oh,
you're gonna
yeah.
hang in there. You're gonna get through this.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we're gonna get through this, yes, but you're gonna get through this.
Yeah.
I hate when people say that. We got you. We're gonna get through this. You're gonna have to get through this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because listeners, me, friends, we all go home.
Yes.
And you're the one, like you said, that when you go into your own world, and that. As far as what you've been through, I can't relate. But I've been through some shit. But what I can relate to with what you said is, when I do get to my house, I live alone.
Yeah.
I live alone.
Yeah.
So I have these. Doing radio is such a high.
Yeah.
You're such at a high level of energy, and that when it's all over, you can go from being so high to being so low, and that's when I hate going home personally.
Well, yeah.
It's like I do everything I can to not get home, because once I get there, it's like I'd rather just get home and go to sleep. So I try to get home as late as I can. And because when I get home early, I'm like, not enough, and I have a lot of time to think about being alone.
It's so true. You see, you're like, this is how Christoph and I both felt like when Christoph would work all day on the set, and he's this big shot, and he's Neil Winter's on Luminous. The girls would go nuts over it. But then, when the lights go off, the camera goes off, and you're at home and you're alone. And that's how he would get into trouble. That's how the drinking would start. And that's what would get me through the night to the next day. And I understood that, because it's kind of how I was, only I couldn't drink because I was a fighter. But when you leave the ring and the cameras shut off and the lights go out and the crowd stops yelling, and then you're at home alone with yourself, and no one gives a fuck who's Mia saying.
It sucks, right?
It does.
It sucks, man. It really
And that,
does.
and that's why, like, it's so hard for, like, normal, quote unquote, normal people to understand what that feels like. You're living a life with, the same thing. Like, you got the crowd, the listeners, and the lights are on, and you're on. And then when you go home, it's like no one gives a shit who's tattoo, like the cat don't care, the plants don't care. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not even my own family cares. I can't go home and even share my day or what I'm gonna do tomorrow and these great accomplishments, like getting this show, getting this position with Ice Cube and Big 3 and all these things. I've never been able to sit with anybody and be like, yo, I got this great new position. Like, there's no one to tell. You know?
Because even our kids, like, I mean, and our kids, like, you can't blame them. Like, I'll even go home to my daughter and say, I'm doing the Today Show, I'm doing this. She's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, what's for lunch?
And at some point, too, I do feel like, you know, it's a really reality check for me when, you know, people tell me, like, how come you're not, your personality isn't so, like, oh, how come you don't talk, or how come you're not as funny? And I'm just like, dude, because I'm not Tat anymore. I don't know. Like, it turns off. And it's like, man.
It has to. Can't be on the whole time.
Well, I'll tell you this, Mia. You know, talking to you right now has been very therapeutic for me.
Oh, good.
Because hearing you open up and being so honest right now is really, number one, man, it's so freaking humbling to hear this. And it's giving me I usually make people comfortable when I do interviews or I talk to someone. I don't even feel like I hate to call them interviews. I don't like to do interviews. I like to say it's more of a conversation that I'm having, and then it makes the person I'm talking to comfortable. And usually I'm the one on, like, trying to get that person kind of like, you make me comfortable. And like, maybe it's just that I've known you for so long, right? And also what you're talking about is helping me talk about this too. I don't really talk about this stuff. I always get on air and I make these jokes about myself, how pathetic, how fat, what a loser, I get no chicks, I'm horrible in bed. Like, I talk about all this terrible stuff about myself, but in a very joking manner.
Right.
But, you know, today it's not. Today it's not. I don't feel very joking about what I'm saying. I'm being very honest with you. There are some, I think we all, no one's perfect, but there are people out there that you don't. That's why what I try to say earlier is that the number one sign of mental illness is not even knowing that they got mental illness. And people hear the show and people see the Instagrams and they think this and that and Tat and you know, but there's our there's mental trauma up in his mind right here.
Well, look at all, like, the recent suicides that we've seen, which are just shocking.
It's like an ultimate rise of suicides.
Yeah. I mean, to start with, like, you know, you talk about how, like, you're funny, you're this. Look at Robin Williams. Like, you know, wait a minute, you're such a funny, happy guy, aren't you? You know, that just even as of late, like, oh my God, my favorite, Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
I used to watch his show every weekend.
I was really, it's so crazy. I know people probably, you know, if you don't have these kinds of feelings, that's fine. Maybe you're just not that kind of an emotional person. But I was devastated over Robin Williams. Devastated over it. To this day. Because I got to interview him. I got to do my Robin Williams impersonation for Robin Williams. I have this great photo of me, like, making him laugh, and it was just one of the most highlight moments of my career. Was to meet Robin Williams, to make him laugh and do this impersonation and telling him, oh, I love you, man. I mean, and to this day, you know, you know, even watching the Aladdin movie with Will Smith.
Yeah.
You know, it made me go back and think of Robin. Like, I'm not feeling the Will Smith thing. I miss the cartoon, and Robin Williams is genie to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's that. If anyone out there is dealing with mental health, what would you advise them to do, Mia St. John? Someone who is a mental health advocate, someone who's lost her husband, her son, has this amazing story of mental health. What would you advise someone right now that's tuned in that says, you know what, I'm never going to call a radio show. I'm never going to go and speak to someone, but you know what, I am listening to this right now.
Right. I would say, you know, my favorite organization, which is a nonprofit, it's called NAMI.org, National Alliance in Mental Illness, NAMI.org.
NAMI.org.
NAMI.org. They helped me and my family so much, and everything is 100% free, so you don't have to worry about that. They even have classes, like if you're a mother or a sibling or whatever, and you think that your loved one has a mental illness, but you don't have a degree in psychology, they give you like a 6-week free course that you can take, and you'll learn all the different illnesses, all the signs, what to look for, all the different types of medications there are, all the different types of therapy. It's just, you'll have a degree in, I'm not a real degree, but in 6 weeks you'll learn everything that like I learned getting my bachelor's. Like literally, it's crazy. And if you just need a support group or a referral, and there's usually a NAMI like in every city.
But and obviously, yes, like you've learned. Excuse me, I hate doing that. But is there things that you learned, Mia, that you realized after your son passed and was like, oh shit, I didn't know that. But because you've gotten your study in on mental health, now you know certain things that was like, fuck, if I would have done this different, or if we would have done that, you know.
You know, because you see, I had a degree in psychology, and not only that, so I already I was familiar with the illnesses, but when my son got ill, for all those years, I was doing everything possible, everything known to man. So when he did pass, I knew that there was nothing more that I could do. Of course, I still felt guilty, because you still go over these things and going, well, if I hadn't have turned left on that day, well, if I had to make the, you know, you go over that as crazy.
And you'll probably kill yourself mentally forever thinking of shit like that.
Yeah, it's like I was so mad that, you know, I put him into that hospital. But then I think, well, before he was in that hospital, and I took him out, and when I took him out, he tried to, you know, take his life, and then the family was like, see, that's what happens when you pull him out of the hospital. So I put him back in the hospital, and then he takes his life in the hospital. So it's like you can't win. So so my advice is you just do the best that you can.
Great.
The best that you know how. You exhaust all possibilities, and after that, it is really up to the universe.